What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? Hello, hello. Welcome, folks. It's Saturday. It's another live guided practice session here on YouTube. My name is Adam Manis. I'm the creative director here at Open Studio. We are going to be working on the little cracks in between chords today. Get to your piano. Let me know where in the world you are practicing from. I'm in beautiful, hot St. Louis, Missouri today. It's going to be too hot. It's going to be hot. Where are you at, folks? Let me know where you are. Come on through, everybody. Hello, hello. Are you there? Where are you in the world today? We've got Don from Philly. What's up, what's up? What's up, Vanessa? Come on through, y'all. Corey's in New Orleans. What's up, Nathan? Nathan's in Pittsburgh. Again, I'm in beautiful but seriously stupid hot St. Louis, Missouri today. UK's in the house. Devin is in the house. Denver is in the house. Hanging. Buenos Aires is in the house. Jose is here. What's up, y'all? Frank Dude from Italia. Buffalo, New York. Long Beach, California. Portugal. San Antonio. I got a little special guest here, too. That's my son, Ivan. Ivan's in the house. He's going to be practicing with us. Are you going to be practicing with us? No, just reading a book, being quiet, hopefully. All right, all right. Come on through, y'all. Yep, reading his book. It's a family affair. Practice is for the children, too, you know? Hungary's in the house. South Korea's in the house. Wendy's in the house. Sam's in Paris. Dude in Vancouver. Italy's in the house again. Theo, this is sick. London, what's up? Florida, you're very welcome, Nick. Oh, Jack says hello in the back. Hot bump-ass Virginia. Davis, thank you. Yeah, this mug was made by my friend, drummer, Open Studio manager, Caleb Kirby. Producer Caleb made this mug, if you're a You'll Hear It fan. It's 84 already in St. Louis. Tel Aviv's in the house. Spain's in the house. Wu-Tang and practices for the children. Yeah. He doesn't know Wu-Tang yet. Someday. Someday. Wisconsin's here. Barbados. What's up? Thank you, Dominic. Mumbai. Get to your pianos, because this is going to be a good one. You can do this on pretty much any instrument, too. There's some dyads involved, but you can fake your way through those. Dublin, Ireland is in the house. Finland is in the house. Yeah, Davis. No, producer Caleb. Heck of a pottery artiste, for real. This is a pretty humble version of some things I've seen him make too. Essex, UK, Atlanta, Trinidad is in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? Cowboy Saloon. Yeah, we have practice sessions from the great Chris Parks. There's my boy Ivan again in the back. Estonia's here. Peter Sprague. We have Dan Wilson. Yeah, we've got some guitar content for sure. Indonesia's in the house. Greetings from Mars. That's very far away. Tokyo's in the house. Argentina, Estonia too. We got multiple Estonia. Armenia is here. Germany, Munich. What's going on? Ukraine's in the house. What's up, Ukraine? Algo Motion. He is closely related to Steve Kirby. Yes, indeed. Oh, you get a hey, Ivan. Nigeria's in the house. Dublin. You got 47 seconds, buddy. So make the most of it. Stretch. Yeah, that Ron Carter thing was super fun. Arizona's in the house. You got a gremlin in the back. All right. Let's get to it here. Terry Drake in St. Louis. What's up, Terry? More Nigeria. More Dublin. Delaware. More Spain. Nevo. Great name. What's up, Chayla? What's up, Mark? Home of Glenn Gould and Oscar Peterson. It's a good piano town. Holger's in Munich. What's up, Holger? All right, y'all. Thank you for being here. Let's get to it today, shall we? Welcome, everyone. My name's Adam Manis, and today we're working on this. Those are the things that I do in between the chords. I make a lot of videos around here at Open Studio about chords. Chord progressions like this, very basic, simple chord progressions, a 1, a 2, a 4, a 5. And then pretty much every video, as I'm trying to teach about the chords, I'll get several comments about, what was that thing you did there? What was that thing? What was that thing? What was that thing? What was that thing? I get those all the time. So today, we're talking about those things. Today, YouTube, we're talking about the pentatonics between your chords. All those little things we do between the cracks. They're hard to explain, and we're going to give it our best shot today because they're really, really, really fun to do. They make your chords come to life. This isn't a solo per se. These are just the little fills that you might do to give your chords and your accompaniment a little bit of movement, right? A lot of the music I play, accompanists are required to add something to it. We're required to put our stamp on things. We are required to fill in some of the spaces, and you got to know what you're doing when you do that. You can't just do any old thing. And in my experience, not everything is pentatonics, but a lot of it is. A lot of it can be played with just one simple scale. And that's what we are going to be talking about today. Now, a couple of things before we get going here. You might like this video if you're here now or you're watching later. You might also subscribe to this channel because we release several videos a week, including a bunch of shorts. And you don't want to miss any of them because they're all, I think, pretty decent. So give that a like. Also, there is a PDF here in the description. You can download that. That's yours to take with you. It's going to cover everything that we're doing today, and we're doing a lot today, so you're going to want to download that. I've created several etudes for these pentatonic fills that we can do, and I think you're going to like it. I think we've broken it down in a way. It's mysterious, these fills. Like, people ask me what I do, and oftentimes I'm like, I just kind of sing between, like I'm singing, between the things. But I've spent some time trying to figure it out, and I think I've got a good idea on how we can break it down a little bit. So here's how that's going to look. We're going to talk about the smash and swoop. We're going to talk about dyads. We're going to put in tons of runs, and then at the end, we're going to do a superset. We're going to combine everything together. That's what this practice session is going to look like. So join me, and let's get to our instrument, and let's get to work. All right? All right. Let's start out with what pentatonics we're actually going to be talking about. So there's a couple of pentatonics that we're going to use, and they're really very closely related. So here are the pentatonic scales that we're going to be using almost exclusively today. There's one little special thing we're going to do, but the C major pentatonic, right? These beautiful 5 notes, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, and the 6. Those 5 notes, right, in the key of C major. That is the basis for what we're going to play in the key of C. Now, the beauty of these pentatonics is that you can use them over multiple chords. They don't just work over a C chord. They work over any chord in the key of C. Practically any diatonic chord we can make sound good, save for a B half diminished. That's the hardest one. But literally the other 6 chords in the key sound great with the C major pentatonic. And then there's the C minor pentatonic. This is a controversial nomenclature because you might notice that C minor pentatonic are just the same 5 notes as an E flat major pentatonic. This is like the relative minor for E flat major, right? So E flat major is the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, and the 6 in the key of E flat. Fun fact, when I met Peter Martin, when he called a C pentatonic, he always was talking about this minor shape. That's how he thinks about it, right? A lot of musicians think about pentatonics as just this minor pentatonic. Now there's also this minor 6 pentatonic. We're not going to get into that today. That's a whole different thing. But here we have the 2 main pentatonics and what we're going to call them. The major, which is the 1, 2, the 3, the 5, and the 6. And then the minor, which in C minor is the 1, the 3, the 4, the 5, and the 7. Also, that is the E flat major pentatonic. You know that C and E flat, right? The E flat major, the relative minor is C minor, right? So that relationship is important. Now you might also be noticing, oh, if the E flat major pentatonic is the C minor pentatonic, then the C major pentatonic is an A minor pentatonic. Yes, true. Those relationships hold up. Okay, enough of the gymnastics. We just need to know those 10 notes really to do what we're going to do. One of these we're going to be using over any chord in C major. One of these we're going to be using over any chord in C minor. Can you guess which ones? Can you guess the ones? I'll give you 2 guesses. Let's check out our first etude here. So this is called the smash and the swoop. Now, here is the key. You might have noticed that when I'm doing these fills in between, I'm not just running a scale. Sometimes I might, if it sounds good. I'm not aimlessly going up and down these notes, right? Or even trying to create these textures or anything like that. I'm playing in positions, right? You're going to hear this a lot. You're going to hear it around the tonic a lot. And around the 5th a lot. So let's look at our first etude here where we're going to be working around the tonic and the 5th. The very first bit of language between the chords, right? We have our C major pentatonic. Now here's where the smash comes in. On this D, right, which is the 2nd note, a smash from the E flat sounds amazing every time. Right? This is some incredible way that pianists can, quote, bend notes. It's the only way that we can, besides using a pitch bend, which I'm not going to do. This is really the greatest way we can bend some notes, right? So this smash from that flat 3 to that 2 is the way. Then there's also the swoop. Here in our 2nd bar in beat 3, you might notice we're swooping up from the D. And I'm really swooping, like I'm like turning the doorknob into that dyad there, and then I'm smashing. Look at that, and it almost is like this, like this rock, you know. And that's 2 things in a row where we're around the root. You're going to notice that it's around the root of C and around the 5th a lot. So smash and swoop, right? And then here in the F chord, the 4 chord, we're going to do another little swoop up and then a smash down. But again, around the 5th here. And then notice coming down, I've got that A on top. Remember how I said the C major pentatonic is just also the A minor pentatonic? Right? Now, on the last bar, we're going to sneak in another pentatonic because it sounds so good. It sounds good over this G chord. It also sounds good over any kind of C chord, too. In the key of C, a G pentatonic sounds really good. So we're just going to do this little thing here. Isn't that great? And this is another little swoopy thing. It's like a turn, but again, it's like a rock back and forth real quick. Like my hand is positioned with my thumb on G and the first 4 notes of the G pentatonic, and I'm just gonna rock back and forth. It's a great way to get around. Let's hear how this sounds in time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. How great is that? got it. You got it. You got it. Smash and swoop. I'll accompany. Two more times. Last time. Isn't that wonderful? So that's all C pentatonic, save for the very last phrase, which is G pentatonic, but that's all I'm using for a lot of that stuff. This very feeling, like this earthy, soulful feeling that we can get, it happens in that scale. So the real trick of this is, though, is that this is, you can do this over, again, any chord. Any one of these things that we have here, like we have basically 4 phrases, would sound good anywhere in this. Like if we played the second phrase on the C, we played the phrase that's on the F over the C. Even if we played the phrase that's on the G over the C, the G pentatonic, it doesn't matter what the chord is, as long as the chord is part of the key of C. If you play any of these things, you can really, you can get, isn't that amazing? You can get all that. Okay. The real kind of hip thing, remember we talked about 2 different pentatonics with this, the C major and the C minor. We're going to do a little modal interchange. We're going to do a little Cush chord game. We're going to take everything except for the C major. We're going to take it up a minor third so that it all is in the realm of C minor. And now we're going to do the same exact thing that we just played, but we're going to take it all up a minor third. So here we have our C major. We're going to keep the C major for the first chord. But everything else is going to be the C minor pentatonic. Up a minor third from where we were. All the chords besides C are going to be up a minor third too, so all part of C minor. Right? So here we have that C minor pentatonic. You could also think of it as E flat major, because we're transposing things up to E flat major too. C minor, E flat major, same thing. So anytime you have that major pentatonic, right, you can use the C major pentatonic sound. Anytime you have anything in the C minor realm, that's C minor, and the same language works. Check it out. This is the same thing up a minor third. 1, 2, 3, and. How great is that? An exclamation point. Minor pentatonic. Our morning. I just want to reiterate, this is the exact same line taken up a minor third. Just did. Okay, there that is. Smash and swoop from the major, from the minor. pentatonic dyads. Number 2, the second thing we use are pentatonic dyads. Right? Pentatonic dyads. We're going to use the major and the minor. This is the same pentatonic scale, but we're going to add a note. Skip a note and add that third to it, and then move both these notes up the scale. Same thing here with the minor. Right, so that's C major, C minor pentatonic with the dyads. So here's how we might use that. Here's the little dyad etude for the major. So using our C major dyads, remember these work over any chord in C major. Isn't that beautiful? I love these so much. Chick Corea, Bruce Hornsby has the sound. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. We can do this in C minor. Now, the thing is we're going to do a push chord game where everything except for the C goes up a minor third. So we're going to keep the same bar, the first bar the same, right? So it's like everything else goes up. C minor. Isn't that cool? Play that rhythm right eventually. I mean, it's just so much fun. So again, C major pentatonic on anything in the key of C major, C minor pentatonic on anything in the key of C minor. And it sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. Okay, okay. Calm down, everybody. Next up is we're just going to take these pentatonic scales, the major and the minor, and we're just going to do tons of runs. This is also a technique you can use. Taking this very ergonomical scale and running it up or down fast, right? So let's hear how this sounds. On, again, the same chord progression, 1, 2, 4, 6. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and. Let's go back up. One more time here, one more time. A simple C minor pentatonic scale. Now you know what's next, YouTube. You know what's going to happen. We're going to do the same thing, the major coming down here on the C major. Everything else is moving up to C minor, right? To the key of E flat. So we'll come down. Up this E flat major pentatonic. Let's try that. Try that playing the right notes, though. Come on, Noah. There it is. Too good. So tons of runs. So here we've got the smash and the swoop, right? We've got the dyads. And we've got these runs. Basic pentatonic runs, by the way. Fingering wise, super easy. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. That's it. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. That's why you can run them so fast. And for the major, or so the minor pentatonic, kind of a similar thing, starting on B flat, 4, 2, 1, 3, 1. That's it. Tons of runs. Okay. Now for the superset. So as you might have suspected, you don't just stay with one thing for a long time. We've got a superset. Now remember how I said you can do anything on any bar? So I have chosen things intentionally that weren't on the chord that we did the first time through. So our dyads here, that was on the second bar, I think, when we did the dyads. Our swoop, that might have been also on the second bar. And here's our run going down that we had on the C. We'll put it on the F. It all sounds good. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, and. Isn't that amazing? One more time. You got it. You got it. time. You got it. You know what's about to happen. You know what's about to happen. 1, 2, 3. Everything's going up. Times. You got it. Last time. Isn't that great? Those are the 3 ways. So again, I just want to reiterate what we just worked on for you again. So we worked on the smash and the swoop. Specifically smashing down to that second on C, or on C minor, the 4. And then swooping up to the 3rd on C, or on C minor, the 5th. Right? Then we did the dyads, which is like the pentatonic scale. But we skip a note, and then we have these 2 notes, and we move them both up the pentatonic scale. And all of these, remember, work over any chord in the key you're in. C major, C minor. Right? Then we did the tons of runs. Just running our fingers in a very flashy way that makes it feel like this sort of waterfall of sparkles. And then we did a superset combining everything. Hey, by the way, we talked a little bit about modal interchange today. And I had some people here in the chat saying, what are the Kush chords and what is all that stuff? If you look in the description, you can see a link to my course at Open Studio, the Harmony Games. We're offering that now for $27. You can just get the course. You don't have to be a member. You can just get the course on its own. If you want to check out the Harmony Games, it's pretty fun. And you get to practice with a live trio. Okay. That is that. Those are the things that I do between the chords. Now, that's not everything. I also like to, you know, I like a good C major scale. Right? I like a D pentatonic, that Lydian sound. There's a ton of stuff that I like to do, but I'll tell you what, like 90% of it is based off of one of these 2 pentatonics. That's it for me. I will now hit the chat for there's Ivan again. We're not quite done yet, Eyes. We're going to take some questions from the chat. Okay. How'd we do? Jola Ed. Adam, can you do a repeat of this on Open Studio Pro next week? I'd be happy to. Yeah, I haven't really talked about this a lot. That's right. Wendy's saying, get it. Got it. It's fun and it's free. Yeah, go for it. Oh, Seth, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying. It's hard to teach that kind of thing. I will say one more thing on this is, like, those etudes that I wrote out for you are a good resource, but a big part of this, like you all probably already knew the pentatonic scale, a big part of this is your rhythmic vocabulary and your sense of groove and feel and what you're actually saying with it, right? Like, you got to be talking with it. And for that, you have to listen. So a couple of things that I'll recommend that you listen, and I'll leave this to you to figure out how to listen to this, because everybody listens different. Herbie Hancock on Stevie Wonder's song As, from Song in the Keys of Life. Herbie's playing Rhodes in the background. He's doing a lot of different stuff, but there is a lot of this kind of sound as well. Billy Preston on Get Back from the Beatles' Let It Be album. Listen to Billy Preston do this kind of thing all over that album, but on Get Back specifically, you can hear a lot of pentatonic things that he's doing, a lot of dyads, actually. Bruce Hornsby, That's Just the Way It Is. Mandolin Rain, that whole The Way It Is record. Check out some Bruce. Bruce Hornsby plays this kind of stuff better than everybody. I mean, he's really playing a lot of cool, like double stoppy stuff. Great stuff to get into. And then I'll say maybe Robert Glasper from the first Black Radio, Afro Blue. Check out what Robert Glasper is doing on that track. It's incredible, obviously. It's classic at this point. But yeah, go listen. Listen to those people play this stuff because it is better than a written out etude. You're actually going to absorb the language, the cadence of the music. And notice I didn't say like giant steps or, Nefertiti or anything that requires crazy changes. These are all relatively simple harmonic frameworks that you'll hear, as it's a pop song. Get Back, obviously a Beatles song, Bruce Hornsby, that's a pop record. Like even Afro Blue is, it's kind of the same chord progression again and again. So it's kind of easy to get. Thanks, Lawrence. Be Water, yeah, Keith Jarrett, specifically from the album Treasure Island on The Rich and the Poor. It's a long piano intro. The Rich and the Poor from Treasure Island. Be Water, thank you for that. Keith Jarrett, and really any Keith vamp on the sort of like, plagiaristic vamp. But check out The Rich and the Poor from Treasure Island. Incredible. Okay, any questions? Jeremy says, is practicing on an electric keyboard bad for your chops in your opinion? Not necessarily. It depends on what you have. I have this Hammer 88. I actually don't like practicing on non-piano things because I like a piano hitting a string. I like a good soundboard. I like to play with that. I think these are fine, but it's not my preferred thing. But obviously, how many people do you hear every day on social media playing on keyboards that sound amazing, have incredible chops? I don't think it's bad for your chops. It just depends on your chops for what. If you're keep playing a keyboard on your gigs, practicing on a keyboard is probably a good idea. If you're only playing pianos on gigs, you should probably get a good piano. But you could even make that work too. If you get a nice weighted keyboard. Terry says, when you go to the minor progression, if you wanted to change the first chord, it would be C minor. Yeah, I would do C minor. Because we're talking about C minor. Seth, yes, I do recommend all keys for everything. BRW, fingering for the white key pentatonics is super easy, actually. Again, especially when we're coming down here. 3, 2, 1, starting on E. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. There's other fingerings you can do, but for this particular, just like running your fingers down, can't beat that. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Amy says, smash notes. Using flat thirds is easy to understand, but what other logic do you use? Amy, it's kind of whatever sounds good. Again, we're talking, right? We're talking. So if I'm like, it's a feeling, right? It's a vocalization. So you can do all kinds of things. Like I will sometimes, I don't know where I've heard, I must have heard this somewhere, but sometimes if I'm like down here, like in this tenor register, I will smash up from just nothingness. Especially on a real piano, sounds good. Organ players swiping up here, I pick a chord sometimes and swipe up. Right, we're just getting this like ruh kind of thing, it's a human emotion, the smash and the swipe. So don't worry about any rules or being too technical. If it sounds good, do it. Corey, the minor pentatonic run, if we're starting from G, I'm going to start on my fourth finger. My thumb is going to be on C, right? And then from here, I'm just going to do 4, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 1. Just that kind of thing. Herb says, can you talk about using the sustain when and when not to? So you don't want to over sustain. In fact, if you're practicing and you are more on the beginner or intermediate side, see if you can practice without using very much sustain at all. There's a good chance that if nobody's told you this, you are overusing the sustain in order to make up for some technical shortcomings. So getting a good legato touch without the sustain pedal is crucial. I'll use it if I need to, like from here, if I'm going up here, I'll use it to bridge that gap for sure. And then again, I'm on an M Audio keyboard here, but if I'm on a real Steinway piano with a great sustain pedal, I will also use it for a number of effects and sounds that I don't even know, Herb, if I'm that conscious of. Like if you spend enough time at a sustain pedal, you get to know how to use it in order to express yourself. It's really an expression pedal. Yeah, B3 players are smashing all the time. Seth says, is there any way to do this? Voicings, is there a way to do this without clashing the bass notes with the bassist? So, Seth, this will not clash with a bassist. If you're conscious about dynamics, this will not clash. Now, if you feel like it's clashing, you can take away that root. Right? You can hear the root there at the bottom. Colleen says, shouldn't that little guy behind you be practicing his piano? He will later today. He thought this session was a little too advanced for him. I think he's just kind of a ham, enjoying the limelight a little bit. But yeah, Seth, as long as you're not doing this, you're going to be fine. Like if you can listen to how much louder my right hand is. I mean, you can get all the way down here with the bassist, and you're just creating this thing. They have a different timbre than us. They have a much bigger attack, a much fuller sound, unless you're on a huge piano that's mic'd up, or a keyboard where you've got the bass, on the EQ turned up. You're not going to get in their way too much. Like be conscious of it, listen, but feel free to play some roots. Thanks, Ruben. Yeah, Ron Carter just said yesterday about not playing below the S on the Steinway at our mentor session. And that's why I always say, unless you're playing with Ron Carter. If you're playing with Ron Carter, don't play below the S because he is explicitly asked. Cool. Borna says, can you talk about learning from other instruments? I'm a violinist and want to get more from transcribing horn solos. Yeah, Borna, it's just important. I mean, basically, when you're talking about learning from other instruments, you're talking about, I want to know what they're doing, right? Like, I want to know what music is being made here, and staying curious about that without sort of like, well, I've got to stick with the instrument I'm on is, I think, a great quality to have. If you want to master the technical aspects of your instrument, learning things that people who are technical masters of your instrument are doing is a good idea, or specific things to your instrument. For us, for pianists, it's things like voicings and dyads and the chords or whatever. Those are things that only we can do, really, in our way. And so learning from pianists is good for that. But learning from horn players, learning from vocalists, learning from drummers, learning from bass players is a great idea for broadening your horizons, right? Learn a lot about music. Bethany, the S on a Steinway is about at this D, I believe. The D below middle C. Silver Flame is asking the important questions. Adam, what's your favorite dessert? I like me some peach strudels. Well, I will say, Silver Flame, that every year for my birthday, I ask my lovely wife, Heather, to make me a Smith Island cake. If you don't know what a Smith Island cake is, yeah, Ivan's giving it a thumbs up. It is a 12-layer yellow cake with fudge frosting. It is decadent. It's a pain in the ass to make, and she's incredible at making it. And so that's a once-in-the-year treat for me. It is very rich, but it is very delicious. That's not my everyday dessert, but I do enjoy a Smith Island cake. Seth asks, how does this work when accompanying a vocalist? Great question, Seth. So if we're playing this progression, let's say there's a vocalist, and they're singing phrases. We'll make up a song here, right? Just doing a little bit of a melody, right? Here's our melody. Simple melody. Smith Island cake. Make up a Smith Island song. 12 layers of frosting. A Smith Island cake. Now, I wouldn't want to fill every single space between every single phrase. Really think about that. You don't want to be doing that. But this is how you would do this, Seth. Right? You're basically answering what the vocalist is doing. And we just wrote a song about Smith Island cake. I'm sure there's songs about Smith Island cake already. That's right. I believe Smith Island is an actual island off the coast of Maryland where this cake is famous. Yeah, Moose is right. Smith Island cake. God, Ivan's laughing. Gavin asks, how often are you thinking of modal interchange or borrowing from actual other modes versus thinking of going left on the circle of fifths for darker, lighter, or brighter? I do think about modal interchange in the sense of like the darker chords that I have available. So Gavin, sometimes I like to think about the modal interchange, like if we're talking about between C major and C minor, I have 7 chords diatonically in C major, and I have 7 chords in C minor that I have to work with, right? And so if I'm writing it, this is all about composing, really. So if I'm writing a song, right? Or Smith Island cake song. But I want it to be a little bit, this is fine, but it's a little vanilla. Right? It's going to give me that dark light thing. It's a tool that you can use. And maybe it's not that whole thing, but that's kind of the game that we like to play around here. Seth, yes, this will work on anything. Bluegrass, funk, jazz, whatever. This is music. This is talking with music. Did we just start a record label? We just might have. We might have started our own label here. Cool. Any other questions? Any other questions? Just full disclosure, the cake is way better than the song. For real. Ivan agrees. Borna says, not exactly a jazz question, but when you get a gig, did you use a contract? Yes, contracts are important. What's on it? Usually when the gig is, the very specifics, where it is, how much I'm getting paid, and any other relevant details. That's pretty much all you need. Alan says, fingering help on the dyads. Yeah. So here I have 1, 2 for the C and the E, 1, 3 for the D and the G, 1, 2, 1, 3. So I'm moving my thumb up. 2, 4 here for the E and the A. And then 1, 3 for the G and the C, 2, 4 here. And then I could also use this as like it's more positions than a scale, right? So here I am here. I can go all the way up to C and right, and here. So or here, like there's just the positions of where you are. Peter says Debussier and Debussier, those are our attorneys for all full contracts. So it's not about playing these as a scale, although you could certainly, but it's more about, just like with pentatonic, it's more about the thumb position. So where your thumb is, right? And this is just 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, just like you would with any kind of like thirds exercise, you know, from McFerrin. It's the same fingering there. Dean says, what does I Can't Help It have to do with High Ridge? I know what you're talking about. The High Ridge groove that Peter plays. It's not quite I Can't Help It. It's almost I Can't Help It. It's not quite. It's my signature groove that I can't get enough of. Peter he's mocking me gently because I put that groove on the end of a couple of tunes. More than one, and he noticed. And so, of course, your friends don't let things like that go. And that now becomes my thing. Oh, Musa, is there a certain quintessential Herbie Hancock lick quote that you hear people play? So the big one is like, you know, if you're going up, if you're in like, we'll say G minor. Doesn't matter how you get there, but like maybe it's a pentatonic thing. Maybe you're just kind of working up a scale, but you end on the E and you do this tremolo. That's the Herbie thing. Herbie, if you do this, someone's going to shout Herbie Hancock at you because you're ripping them off directly. And yes, I do it. Not a lot anymore, but I do it. Invisible Perception says how to comp on a traditional upswing jazz standard when you don't have a bass player without necessarily playing a walking bass line. So Invisible Perception, it's an interesting username that's actually kind of an answer to your question, because you don't have to perceive a walking bass line or even try to recreate it all the time at all. So if you're playing this kind of up, right? So if I'm comping for this, I might do some rooted things, and you can do some just simple shells, right? Really, it doesn't have to be much. And maybe some fifths. Maybe some rooted voicings. Half note is your friend. Don't have to do rooted voicings though. Give your audience's ear some credit. They will hear things that you don't always have to like shove the root down their throat, shove the bass line down their throat. You know, you can throw in some hints, rooted voicings, leave space. They'll get it. You know what I mean? Like you can hear the form here to Stella. Maybe hang down on the root for a little bit. Maybe hang up here. Creating little half-time grooves or two-feel grooves, I should say, half-note grooves. That's kind of the way to go. For listening for this, listen to the Lester Young Trio with Buddy Rich and Nat King Cole. That's a bassless trio from the early 50s, late 40s, and it is amazing. And Nat King Cole crushes no bass without doing a lot of stride or without doing a lot of walking bass lines. You do not miss it as much as you would expect. It's pretty great. Tyrone, how to come up with fresh improv lines without falling into the same licks. Tyrone, sing everything you play. If you aren't singing it, you're just running your fingers over the keyboard with the things you already know, right? But if you're singing it from your heart, you're probably going to come up with some new stuff. And if you don't have anything to sing, you actually don't have anything to say. So learn how to sing the stuff. Cool. Anything else? Bethany, these do make it onto YouTube. We've started just leaving the whole thing up. So this will be, all of these questions, including the chat, will stay on YouTube forever. For the rest of our lives. No, I don't know. But it will be up. So you can come back and check it out. Yeah, Chayla, the Lester Young Trio. So good. So good. Specifically with Nat King Cole and Buddy Rich. Young Nat Cole, young Buddy Rich. Corey, not next Saturday, probably the Saturday after that. But I have my next live session on Monday at Open Studio Pro. So you can go to openstudiojazz.com/pro if you want to check that out. Monday at 1 p.m. is the Repertoire Club. A lot of people on this call are on that class, and it's a really fun class. We'll probably be doing more of this because Chayla or someone asked for it, and I think it's a good thing to work on. We'll break it up a little bit. Colleen, it's not a Nat King Cole album. It's Lester Young with a young Nat King Cole on piano and a young Buddy Rich on drums. It's called the Lester Young Trio, and it's everywhere you can find music. And it's no bass, but it's really good. Talk about Gavin's question. Sus walk-ups versus moo walk-ups. D2 over F sharp, E2 over G sharp, A minor. D2 over F sharp. What makes them so hip? They sound good, right? Voice leading is the key, right? Some parallel voice leading here, stepwise motion. This E2 over G sharp to the A minor. Got some good voice leading here. And same thing here. What is that? F sharp over G sharp. Good voice leading there as well. So the G sharp specifically on both of those chromatically leads up. And then the chords just beautifully resolve to A flat. Each one of the voices resolves to a note of A minor, right? Of the F sharp, or that E2 leads beautifully to A minor. So this is like the thing that I think pianists can understand better than anybody, because we can move individual voices so easily. Like, I got into a bit of a row with some guitarists because I claim that E7 can resolve to C, and I'm going to hold my ground here. E7 resolves to C because the voice leading, especially this voice leading, or this voice leading, resolves so beautifully. Right? So here we have B, G sharp, D, and E, resolving to C, G, C, and E. You can't tell me that's not great voicing. That's not good resolution, strong voice resolution. It 100% is. So yeah, is that as powerful as that? No. But it's part of the family of dominance, and it's because it has such strong voices that are so close to the C. It's all that matters. The deeper you go into this on the piano, the more you realize that the theory of G7 goes to C and B flat 7 goes to C is irrelevant. It's what the notes that are going to the notes is, and you can do literally anything as long as the notes that are going places sound good. You can make up your own chords. If the voice leading is strong individually, it'll work. That is that they're going somewhere chromatically, singable lines, chromatically and stepwise, golden. Jane, so that's 1 p.m. Eastern is the Repertoire Club over on Open Studio Pro. Again, you can go to openstudiojazz.com/pro to sign up. It's great. We do 2 to 3 to sometimes 4 classes every day, just like this. God asks, if you had to name one quintessential jazz voicing, what would it be? Scott, can you explain in simple terms what a backdoor 2-5-1 is and where is it used? Again, it's used in compositions. You can also use it as a substitution. If you have a 2-5-1 to C, D minor 7, G7 to C7, C major, right? You can, instead of using this, oftentimes composers specifically will use a 2-5-1 or 2-5 up a minor third, F minor 7, B flat 7, C. That's the backdoor 2-5, right? So here's a regular 2-5, D minor 7, G7 to C. The backdoor F minor 7, B flat 7 to C. You hear this on like Yardbird Suite. Now you might notice, what are those chords from? F minor 7 and B flat 7. It is modal interchange, right? It's from C minor or E flat major, right? The same thing we were just talking about taking things up. So it is all related. Yeah, Barry has said we don't play chords, we play movements. Morty says, Adam, please help me. It's off topic. Have you ever felt that what you know about piano is not enough to improvise openly? I play the piano for 3 years now and I constantly face this problem. I have never felt that personally. Not enough to improvise openly. I wonder what you mean by openly. Do you mean just without any structure at all, to just start playing something? If that's what you mean, you should do that a lot, because that is very fun. And it is using your imagination. Just throw any rules away and see what you can create. I recommend it for everybody, especially if you're young. Start just exploring music and your imagination. Young like him. It's ham bone over there. Oh, thank you, Alex. Scott, I hope that helped answer your question about the back door. Morty Magpie says, I mean without hesitation. So just improvising on a tune. It's a language. Learn to speak the language. It's a lot of listening. Listen to the people that you want to sound like a lot. And then everybody starts by trying to imitate people that they like the way they sound. Everybody starts by trying to imitate the people that they like. Everybody starts by trying to imitate the people that they like. I'll say it 3 times because it's so important. Who do you like? Know yourself. What do you like? What's the music you love? Know what you like. Figure that out. Write it down. Who are my favorite artists? Who are my favorite improvisers? And then listen to them a lot and do a few different types of listening. So one type of listening is deep listening, where you're listening to like, what the hell are they doing on this song? If it's this. Listen to what they're doing and how they're doing it and mimic them. It's just mimicking someone I like who does that. Mimic what they do. Even if you don't even know exactly what they're doing, start by just mimicking. And then the deeper level of that is transcribing, where you're actually figuring out exactly what they're doing and you're playing along with recordings of what they're doing. And then there's the listening that is merely to absorb. And this isn't while you're vacuuming or you're driving. It could be while you're driving probably, but you're just absorbing it without trying to do anything with it. You're just taking it all in, you know? Yeah, listen. How do you interact with traditional elements to create a unique sound? Everything we play, Olan Rawaju, apologies if I'm butchering that name. Everything we play is a combination of everything we've ever heard and everything we desire. Like all of our hopes, dreams, who we are as a person, all of our fears, and all of the media we've ever taken in comes out when we play. So it all is, if you listen to a lot of traditional jazz, it's going to interact with whatever you do, even if you play metal. All right. Thanks, everybody. Super fun. Again, this will be, all of this stays up now, so you can come back and watch this some more. Seth says, so this modal stuff is like the foundation, but you need to use it in your, this hand bone behind me. All right, we got to go. Thank you, everybody, very much. Super fun. Cheers. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Say bye, Ivan.